Good day, YouTube. In this video, I'm going to talk about my Tarkov settings and tell you which settings you need to apply, talk about a couple of bugs that reduce your FPS and lead to more stutters, and just share some tips and tricks for 0.16.0 patch, so this current winter wipe. And there should be an optimization patch from BSG really soon, but until this patch is out, I will recommend you doing a couple of things. So first of all, let's go through my settings. I didn't change much from the previous wipe. I'm running on high textures because my GPU allows me to do so. If you're running a lower end GPU, I would advise you to play on lower texture quality, but generally it doesn't affect your FPS. Object LOD and overall visibility does affect your FPS on maps like streets and lighthouse, so I like to keep it low. Some of the objects don't render at medium distance and you have to come closer to them, such as different loot items that you can pick up. So that's a disadvantage, but at the same time you get better frames. Clouds quality don't really affect the frames, I keep them on high. Anti-aliasing is personal preference. NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR, you should use them if you play like on 2K or 4K resolution and you don't have a really strong GPU. In that case, it might give you additional frames, but overall, I have 4080, I'm playing on 2K, I don't need to use any of this. Resampling, put it on 1x. If you want to get a little bit more of a sharp image and less noise, you can put it on 2x, but this is going to stress your GPU and most likely you will lose frames. So I keep it on 1x. HBO is shadows, like high quality shadows. I turn it off. SSR is screen space screen reflections. Basically, it's reflections from water and from windows. I keep it on low. Adds a little bit of authenticity to the game. Looks more realistic. It does eat a bit of FPS, but not too much. Anisotropic filtering off, didn't see any difference. NVIDIA reflex low latency on plus boost because that uncaps your frames. Nothing else. Oh yeah, Streets of Tarkov lower texture resolution. I enabled this because my game was crashing when I was playing on high textures on Streets. No idea why, but my game would crash sometimes, so I enabled this. Alright, let's talk about actually important things now. First of all, you must disable this setting. You must disable preload hideout because some of the bugs are related to loading into the hideout, and if you preload hideout, even if you don't click on the hideout, it still loads into the memory of your PC, and you can get stutters and lower FPS. And at the same time, if you don't have it preloaded and you still click on the hideout, boom, once again, this can lead to more stutters and worse FPS. So my advice is once you use hideout, like if you use a craft or assemble a station or upgrade something, close the game, restart it, once again disable the preload option and go into the raid. So right now I have really bad FPS in the game. I should restart my game to get better frames. So that's the first thing you should do. Second thing, you should enable XMP profile in your BIOS. XMP profile is for your RAM to be faster, to be working on faster speed. It's not difficult to do, just search how to do it, how to enable XMP. Because weirdly enough, a lot of people are getting much worse FPS in the game. My PC runs at extremely overclocked RAM. Right now my RAM is at 7800 megahertz, I believe, which is really, really fast. And I couldn't see much of FPS loss compared to the previous wipe, even though a lot of streamers did. So I think fast RAM might be a vital thing to keeping your FPS stable and high at this very moment. So enable XMP. And last but not least, you should increase page file. If you don't have a lot of RAM and if you're loading maps and your maps crash, and if your game sometimes randomly crashes mid-raid, you go to your PC, right? Go to your PC, this PC, boom, properties. Then you click on advanced system settings, click on advanced, performance, settings, advanced, and virtual memory. In this area, you click on change and you select where you want to create a paging file. I would advise doing it on a different SSD that is not a system SSD and that is not a SSD where your game is installed. I mean, obviously, if your game is installed on a different SSD from the system, I would put it on the same one. But yeah, long story short, you select SSD which you want to use. You put the custom size, initial size, and maximum size. You should do it in multiples of 1024 because that's how Bit's system works. This is incorrect, like this is not the best. And you can use as much space as you want. Be aware that the more space you use, the worse it is for your SSD, because like if your SSD is completely full, it's going to deteriorate its life. But yeah, you can put it at 50 gigs, you can put it at 150 gigs, depends on the space of your SSD, and this will definitely help with some problems. So set it up, click OK, click apply, and the system will ask you to restart your PC. If it doesn't, you should still restart your PC, because if you don't restart your PC, it's not gonna apply the settings. So yeah, I think I've told you everything you need to know. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. I hope your FPS is better. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Algorithm, comments for the YouTube algorithm. And I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I will see you in the next video. Take care, ladies and gents.